What's going on, guys? It is Squill. Today we're doing we're doing a comic review, not a homemade comic this time, because I have picked out three cool looking comics. They're not really that popular except for, and I say these two, King Kong, whatever, and the Predator. I read these; they're really good. This one, I never heard about this character before. It's like a unpopular superhero comic. So, if you want to be inspired of making superhero comics, you should read these ones that like you have never heard of, cause people would make really great ideas with these right here. So, yeah, it should be really fun. And also, if you're wondering about the camera, it is a DSLR. I am using a DSLR to record this. I just received it, and it is awesome. Like, the quality is just amazing. And, yeah, it should be fun. So, our first one we will be looking at is King Kong. This is a really fun one to read, even though it's kind of short. It's also has a lot of action in it. I think this is part of the King Kong series, but this is just a random one. So, this is like a random issue. But, the funny thing is, actually, the cover looks amazing. Has a lot of art detail. It's pretty amazing art detail. Also, when you, like, open it, he looks kind of different. Like, yeah, but he looks sort of like Donkey Kong. Kind of, but in the beginning, it starts with a lot of action. He's the group of like the survivors. It's also like so similar to the movie. Like they fall into like a pit of like bugs and stuff. He's trying to shake the log. So yeah, let's take a look at the detail real quick. So there's the comic. It's amazing. Look at that. So the detail's really nice. Really nice. I don't really know her name. It's like Beauty. I don't remember. But yeah, I don't think they even show it in this. But not that much dialogue, but there is a lot of sounds effects to what's happening, showing like what's going on and stuff. And you can see here, shaking the giant tree log. That is some really nice detail into it. And then yeah, so he also fights a T-Rex in this, which is a really cool action part of this comic. Like, it's a really good action comic also. And then this is one of my favorite panels in the whole entire thing. Actually, my personal favorite panel in the whole entire issue. It is that. It looks really nice, well detailed. I don't even know how long it took this one issue to complete, but they did a pretty good job with it. They did a pretty good job. It's really fun. I suggest you go read this. Really fun. Also, here's where the dialogue starts kicking in. It's kind of hard to focus a little bit, but yeah, I guess right there. So yeah, they're like hiding at like, it's kind of like a distraction, but yeah, they do fight, and there is that one part, one of those popular parts from the movie, where he actually breaks the T-Rex's jaw. I think it shows it in this. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's really fun to like look at. You can just look at it over and over again. But yeah, Donkey Kong over here. Yeah, there we go. Hold on, let me just like, yeah. Alright. It's pretty nice read. Pretty well. It's well done. Oh, there it is. Like that part. That part is really kind of brutal-ish. It doesn't really show gore or anything. It just shows the crack, and all that stuff. And yeah, I'll probably do a kind of video about shading in probably my upcoming videos. I'll probably do one about shading, because the shading in this is really well done. Even the tone to it, the background. I think they use like a computer to edit this. Probably. I think they use a computer. that's just maybe. But yeah, I don't want to show you guys the whole thing. Well, this is a review, but it's because if you guys want to read it, and yeah, King Kong butt right there. Okay, that was pretty weird, but okay. So he is on a mission. Well, the King Kong, he took the girl with the blonde hair, you know, all that stuff, and the dudes want to go follow him to like rescue her. So this is a nice running panel right there. It shows they use that in the Flash a lot, like the comics for Flash. I don't feel like taking the Flash comic out, but yep, it shows that. Yeah. So basically, King Kong like looks back, then it's just like that moment because he's thinking that he's just gonna just gonna see him, and then things will go bad from there. But not really, not really. Focus. But yeah. So his face though, but it's a really nice read. I like it. I don't really have that much to say about it other than the detail is really nice, and the storytelling in this is pretty good, even though not that much dialogue. As you can see, a few dips of dialogue put in there. Nice touch. And the scared reaction of the gorilla just shows. And then it leads off with like a cliffhanger kind of thing, but this is an also good also great full panel scene right here, and he just gets attacked by a giant snake, and yeah, he's like telling him to set her down and all that stuff, and yeah, so that's it. Whoa, I didn't realize that back. That is creepy. That is really creepy. But yeah, King Kong. Now we gotta move on to our next comic. Anyways, moving on to our next comic, and this one is pretty amazing and really interesting. It is Alien versus Predator, and also in the beginning I just said Predator. It's actually Alien versus Predator, and it is a really fun read. It's also pretty old also. Well, kind of. It's like I'm like around the 90s was made, and as you can tell, this one's colored unlike the King Kong one, and it's also, is it like double page title? I want to see that. Yeah, kind of, but still looks pretty interesting. And I may skip around the comic since it's pretty long. It's a pretty long comic, so, and I don't want the video to be too long. So we gonna just skip through the comic, and I'll just explain everything. The beginning is just a narration about like a threat coming to Earth and stuff. It's like a ship. I'm assuming that's a alien ship, and they are on their way to Earth. And we got our characters. One of them's Japanese. Actually, I think two of them are Japanese, and they work for a government system that like a scientific kind of thing to help experiment about what's happening with the aliens and what's gonna happen, or like they're trying to prepare themselves. So that's one of them. And yeah, this comic has pretty nice details. So if you're really inspired by comic making, or if you like making comic books yourself, the panels here are pretty interesting. Same with any other comic. And yeah, if I'm having trouble of like creating panels, or like I don't want it to be too boring, or like just boring boxes, I'll look at these because these are pretty interesting and really creative. I'll look at that. Yeah, pretty interesting. So what happens is they like a rhino gets he walks up to this mysterious looking asteroid kind of thing, because it probably like landed on Earth, and same with the alien ship right there. So the rhino gets attacked, and now they discover that, and they try to experiment it and see what happened to it. And those are predators. Alien or predators. I'm sorry, I'm not really a big fan of Alien versus Predator. But yeah, I know this is like my first time ever reading a comic about predators or Alien versus Predator kind of thing. So yeah, it's pretty nicely detailed. Also, the comic is pretty amazing as well. Over here is they are just experimenting all of these things. These like creatures that they have never seen on Earth ever before, and this place, this whole story probably takes place around like a canyon. It's like Grand Canyon kind of thing. I say like the western area. So yeah, we're just gonna skip a couple pages here. And this one, unlike the King Kong, has a lot of dialogue, and you can see a lot of the rhinos are changing their color, probably because after they're getting attacked by the aliens, predators. So they I don't really see a fight happening between the aliens or predators, except they're probably attacking the humans on Earth. But that's pretty much the battle right there. The actions are pretty nice. It's really well drawn. The movement, you can tell where it's going to be going. That's the good part about creating comics is you can like draw a figure and then you can just know right away where it's going, what's happening by its movement. You don't want just a boring simple figure just standing there with a house in the background. There's no story. You don't know what's going to happen. You need, like, if you put a giant monster in the background, then you know what's going to happen to that guy. So yeah, storytelling right there, and that's also great for cinematic stories. You can use those. It's really helpful. Even some professionals use it, and I use it too for my stories. I'm making films in the upcoming future, and it should be really fun. Even with this camera is really beautiful and really nice. And so is this comic. You can tell. Because the details. We're just looking through the details and the story, but details are more cooler. But yeah. The story makes the details look cooler. It's kind of confusing to talk about, but yeah. Anyways, they have been overrun. They have been attacked. And yeah, he loses one of his brothers. I forget his name. He loses one of his brothers. It was like Venji I'm not sure, but yeah, he gets killed, and like big explosion happens. It's a full page panel. I really like this panel. It is really inspiring if you want to do explosions, because I suck at doing explosions. What I would do is I would put lines everywhere and just like, that's an explosion. And same with tornadoes. It has to have detail to it. You have to take time on it. You see those little dots around it. Yeah, like you can see how much they put into this full page. Even like the little panels. Look at all those details. You can see those little dots around there. It has to focus. You can see the little dots, the little lines, the specks, and the shadings. It takes like that much to like for one simple little panel, and same for all of these. So comic takes patience, but also the end of the work is really outstanding, and you get to see people like read it. So look at all those details right there. You can see how much they put into just making this giant explosion happen. It looks like it's just popping out of the page. Little pretty interesting. So the predators are on Earth now. It looks like they have won victory. And victory is what they love. And then also there's kind of a cliffhanger thingy ending right here. Him saying B. Look at that. That's a huge monster. That looks like Alien. All of that is like, it leaves off with a cliffhanger with like two guys. I don't remember the names. Gotta read this again. But yeah, those two are looking at this huge beast. Like, that's how you tell good story right there in one picture. telling story in one picture is like, it's crazy, because two people with a giant alien, you would expect what would happen. They would get eaten. Who knows? That's what's interesting. You want to find what's next. It would be boring if it's just plainly nothing, and they're two people taking a picture of a statue. That's boring. But yeah, there's like nothing, no story, nothing happening. And yep, here's a map of the whole entire station right here. Pretty interesting. So yeah, that does it for Alien versus Predator. Our next issue, comic book. Actually, this one is a whole entire story. I'm assuming, yeah, it's a whole entire story in just one comic. So this is a whole entire story, and it is called Mark Hazard Merc. And yeah, this is about war. It takes place in, and this was made in 1987. So this is kind of pretty old. You take that out, and here it is, Mark Hazard Merc. And he is a mercenary that works for the military and fights for it, and has to deal with raising children of his own. And yes, it's a whole entire story. So yes, this is pretty long, but I don't want to go through the whole thing, because that would probably take like an hour to just summarize this whole thing. Well, for me, but because I go into detail very quick, so it takes me a while. So that ad is really cool. I don't know, but yeah, that ad is pretty cool. So actually, yes, we are gonna go into Mark Hazard Merc, and yes, he is in the military. So they are gathering weapons, and they are fighting Africa. So they fight Africa, and they're teaming up with Asia, and yeah, it goes into a lot of detail, because there is narrations in like almost every panel. So yeah. So basically, fighting, well, not that much action. It's pretty much storytelling, which is awesome also, because I like storytelling in movies and comic books. Books, graphic novels, it's cool. I'm kind of used to it, but I enjoy comics more, just to be honest. But here it is. That is Mark Hazard. I keep saying Mark Merc, but it's Mark Hazard. So he works for the military, and the whole entire United States is endangered because of the war and the attack. He's and also, while like narrating, it also explains his personality, what he has to deal with, why he's there, and all that stuff. So he goes into a lot of detail, and the narration also explains about each character. Like, so you get to learn about the characters. That's his wife. It's Gloria, I think that's her name. Gloria. So that is Mark Hazard's wife, and he has also been very injured. And then, so these are all flashbacks, and this is him right now. So these are all flashbacks of the war that he has been in, and this is showing what's now. So yeah, we get to see our other characters, like, I think his name's Chuck. Right, Chuck. So yeah, so they get under attack in this part, and I really like the panels here too. You get to see those details of the panels. My God, it's amazing. It's really, really nicely detailed. I really like that. Really like that. So skipping comics, skipping the pages. Oh, that's really cool fight right there. So why did I just say that? Anyways, this is what's happening right now. They are trying to revive Mark Hazard. He is kind of an anti-hero or superhero. You can tell it's Marvel. He is like a superhero character, but not really popular. He is not very popular. So, yeah, Mark Merc. That's him right now trying to cheer him up, but it's pretty sad in the end, which I'll get to later. Though they then learn how to fly a helicopter. So you learn about each character. Well, not each character. People that are important you learn about, and you like have feelings for them. Even though this comic's really small, it feels like a large story, which is cool. I like that. Yeah, so looking at the colors, it's pretty nice. I really like it. I like it, you know. Whatever. Anyways, this is getting to the other character. He's kind of like a villain, because he's pretty much against his Mark Hazard's idea. So he pretty much shoots him in the leg. He shoots him in the leg, and then it just he just gets injured, and probably that's where he's left off in the hospital. And okay, anyways, that's the villain raising his kid like always. Gets hit in the face. Loser. Over here is advertisement, kids. I'm just skipping comics. I really like this advertisement right here. It's Hawkeye. It's Avengers, you know, Hawkeye and that girl. I forget her name, but it's like advertisement for like saving money for Avengers comic, something like that. But anyways, Mark Hazard raises his daughter to like do karate, or like she trains karate by like a master. I don't feel like going back, but she does. But her master ends up dying from like a disease that has something to do with the war. But the war ends. Like one of these pages, it ends the war. So now that everything's all settled, a lot of people died. So now he has to take care of his kids. But then he gets like a disease too. But yeah, and then right there, it leads off where we were left off. And that is Mark Merck dying. So yeah, so at the end it's pretty sad. There's this machine that's the only thing keeping him alive, but he's basically dying. So they can't do anything about that. And he says, turn it off. He literally says, turn it off, because that's what it would be best for him. It's what he would want. So they turn the rapture off, whatever it's called, you know. And there it is, the end. He's dead. The machine is off. That was keeping him alive the whole time. And it's done. That's how it ends. It's a pretty sad ending. But really awesome comic. Really awesome comic. So I recommend all these comics.